you to our Genius community, and thank you for being here. You can jump off the Zoom if you want, jump on to the YouTube channel for Ariel Policano, and you can watch us live stream this broadcast at any time. And we're just going to check and make sure that we're okay. All right, perfect. We are groovy, we're ready to go. And let's make sure we record it here as well. All right, and I can't hear a thing, so let's try to get some sound as well. Okay, a warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of our Genius community. We really appreciate you spending your time with us. We're going to be talking about detox today and a few other things. So let's go ahead and look at what our presentation is. Actually, let me just stop this for one moment. We'll also take any of your questions. So if you have questions about the Genius that you'd like to ask, this is an opportunity for you to ask those questions, and we just want to make sure we can do this presentation for you. So just give me a moment to get that set up. Hello to everybody in the chat on YouTube, everybody in the chat on Zoom. Thank you so much for taking the time to stop by. And now we have this ready to go. And we're just about to get started. Anybody who wants to volunteer is welcome to volunteer. And whoops, yeah, we're going to be sharing the screen here. And hang on just for 1 second. Okay, my apologies for the delay there. So let's just go ahead and share our screen and get everything rolling. So just let me know if the sound is okay. And if you can see the screen, that is what is important. So we're going to take volunteers in just a little while down the road here. So just don't volunteer just yet. And let's go ahead and, okay, so fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, Karen. I really appreciate it. Now let's get started with our lecture for today, talking all about detox. Now, every week we give a free class. So if you're interested in sharing the Genius with other people, you can invite them to this class. There's never a fee for class, and it's always something about health, something about the Genius, and we're happy to share information with you. That's one of the nicest things about our Genius community that we feel really proud of, is that we can share a lot of education. Some of it's paid, a lot of it's free, and we're happy to have you along to join us for that. So with that in mind, on Thursdays, we have a great podcast called The Frequency of 528, like 528 hertz. And we have guests from all over the world talking about different things in frequency and vibrational medicine. And the recording from last week is now posted on my YouTube channel, as well as all of the podcast platforms. If you know someone you think we should interview, certainly let us know. We'd love a good connection to somebody that we should be talking to from any aspect of vibrational healing or healing itself. So this past week, we talked about a toroidal coil, and actually I'm going to be showing you a picture of that. We talked about terahertz technology, and we also talked just about emotional healing with Mary. And now Mary, one of our practitioners, is now officially Mary Sunshine. So one of our Genius practitioners co-hosted that with me, and you can check it out on the YouTube channel or on the podcast platforms where we're posting it. So things like Spotify and Apple Podcast. Now we do have this nifty new accessory, which is a torus coil, essentially. It's about 4 inches in diameter. And the cool thing about it is that it actually has a connection that can go to your iPad, your iPhone, and you can play the Genius frequencies through this toroidal broadcaster. And so basically the miraculous part of this is the shape. It's the shape of an actual torus. So it's the way that we were able to get the sacred geometry into this form. And it's got some copper wires flowing through there. So when you broadcast it, it's broadcasting through the mathematics and the energy of sacred geometry. And you can push the Genius tones through this torus coil. So it's really fun to have a new broadcaster that you can push the frequencies through. And we talked a little bit about the toroidal energy that comes through the torus coil. Just a really cool thing to have in, in combination with things like the remedy plate, playing it through the bone conduction headphones. It's another way to experience your genius frequencies. When you think about the toroidal shape, that is the energy that's around the heart. It's been called the FREE, that type of energy comes from that sort of energy generator. So we can see another picture of it here, the sacred geometry, the geometrical construct of this type of shape to put it into an actual thing, an actual shape that can then broadcast energy is just pretty cool. So you can check it out, and we'll be doing some more experiments using the toroidal broadcaster. I also want to invite anyone who's not been able to join us. We had an amazing first class for the Thursday class for manifestation. So if you'd like to learn the science of manifestation, learning to have intentional focused thoughts not only helps you to manifest things in your life, but it even improves your brain health and helps you to connect more neurons by challenging yourself and having goals. And we have exercises and processes that help you to move your mind in a positive direction. If you can move your mind in a positive direction and control your thoughts, you can have just about anything you want, whether it be financial, health, fitness, you want to release weight, things like that. So we show you how with the manifestational class, and we also combine it with how do you craft those affirmations and then use them along with your genius system. So it's a great class, and anybody can still join that class. You can join it for just $99 a month by going to the website and just typing in the word manifest, or the word affirmational magic is another way that we've described the class. And if you need help finding it, then just send us a message, Ariel@geniusbiofeedback.com. So we meet every Thursday, and we're going to be meeting every Thursday for the next 5 weeks. The class is recorded, and all recording slides and processes are available in our learning portal. Now, for those of you new to Quantum Biofeedback helps you to explore the unseen aspects of life. I believe whether it's the genius or any other type of quantum biofeedback tool, you always want some type of energetic testing in your world, whether it be for you personal or it be for your clients in your healing. There are many different types of healing things that you can have in your life. You could have a Rife generator. You could have the light that goes with the Rife generator. You could have all types of different healing things. You could use the toroidal piece here. You could use there's all talk about the terahertz technology. You could use scalar. You could use all of these things that you could get in front of or utilize. But one thing that is really important is understanding what you want to focus on. When you use biofeedback like the Genius or any quantum biofeedback tool, it allows you to peer below the surface and find out, what do you need to put your attention on? What is the greatest priority that you need to give your energy to? And that is something that you don't get from sort of these generic healing tools. So it's wonderful to find out what the emerging issues are. It's like doing 100 muscle tests or more at any given time. Now, we do this in every class. You have more ways of talking about the Genius. So if you've wanted ways to talk about and express the Genius and what it does, we try to get that in here. So we use the voice as a way to test your energy. And then we do the 100 or more muscle tests in seconds so you can see all the pieces of information that you need to know. So the Genius is a tremendous tool to allow you to access that information that was previously difficult to find, expensive testing, paying a practitioner. Now you can do this for yourself. Now, every week we have a Chinese medicine minute. And I thought this week would be interesting to talk about this is something that you can impress people at cocktail parties and so forth. What is the only meridian that runs through the body in a horizontal fashion? So there's only one horizontal meridian runs across the horizon, runs sideways in the entire body. Everything else is up and down. So the one that runs sort of across the cross section of the body is called the Daimai vessel, and it runs along the gallbladder meridian. And it's sort of, they call it the girdle vessel or the belt meridian. So interestingly enough, if you have that little paunch, at that area of the belt meridian, of the little spare tire, it actually could be because of constriction around this meridian. It makes you wonder all the different clothing and tight pants and belts that people wear may also be contributing to stopping the flow of chi at this meridian. So it is a little blurry, but you can kind of see gallbladder 26, 29, 28, 27. So think about the gallbladder meridian. It's also associated with the free flow of chi. And of course, gallbladder meridian, liver meridian are related in some way. And if the Dai-mai vessel is tight, constricted, or blocked, energy can't flow properly. And what's interesting about this, let's just go back to the meridian for a second, is that when liver chi is blocked, it creates an excess of overflow. And in this overflow, so think of it almost like fluid filling up, it then encroaches on the spleen and the stomach. So you get a very sluggish digestion as a result. And so this is interesting too, because in the Western interpretation, you sometimes see people have the paunch or the spare tire. They instantly think it's fat, which it can be, but it can also be something that happens from a functional liver issue called ascites. So if you get a lot of this collection, it's like the first place that somebody gains weight is in their belly. It may be time for a liver detox. And we're going to talk all about liver detox today. So it's something to think about, opening up this Dai-mai vessel. And the reason that happens in the first place is also related to stress, which is another thing that sort of dovetails with the Western interpretation, which is when you have excess cortisol, the first place you usually see it is in the belly. So sort of a different reason, different angle to come from, but the same sort of outcome. So the minute that you feel stressed out, you probably notice that you stop breathing really deeply, and you may even be breathing really shallow, that you sort of lock up energy. And a place that you lock up energy is in that central part of the body. This constricts the Dai-mai vessel, and it affects the flow of liver chi throughout the body. And if liver chi is blocked, this is going to lead to further issues with the digestive system. So if you're new to our class here and you've never been here before, you wonder what we're doing. This is our Chinese medicine minute, because information that comes from Chinese medicine is so valuable for us to maintain our wellness. And when we learn about different points on the meridian that might be blocked, we can actually unblock them with simple acupressure. This is the pressure of our fingers. And then we can also run that point on the genius as another way to open up the energy. And now imagine you could even take that point and run it and broadcast that energy through the toroidal coil and then actually to the meridian itself, or to the meridian point. So remember, the genius is more fun than healers were previously allowed to have. There's so many creative ways to work at this with the different parts of the genius itself and the accessories. So as the liver stresses or expands, it encroaches on that spleen and stomach, which we just talked about. So you're going to feel like your digestion has slowed down. You're going to feel bloated. You might even feel like you wake up and you look in the mirror, my goodness, where did that spare tire come from? And so this is an energetic issue, maybe more than a fat issue. So as you cleanse and detox the liver and open up the liver chi, you may notice all of a sudden that your belly starts to go down. You think, what the heck happened? So maybe you did change some of your eating habits, but it's also both energetic and related to the health of these different organs. So to have more wellness at that Dai-mai, you may want to don't wear tight pants, don't wear belts. I remember when I lived in an ashram in India for a while, and of course you may have found this out if you traveled there as well, that people wear the Punjabi. A lot of women wear the Punjabi, which is the long shirts over drawstring cotton pants. And it's so comfortable to not wear all of the pants and clothing of our Western world. And it probably really helps that Dai-mai vessel as well. So work on tonifying the abdomen, keeping your abdominal area very healthy and toned. So some sit-ups or something to work the abdomen, some Pilates or something, some stretches to help to strengthen your abdomen, Qigong, and deep breathing. We want to do everything we can to open up and maintain the health of that Dai-mai. It's called the Dai-mai vessel. It's sort of that part of the meridian, part of the gallbladder meridian that runs through that area around the abdomen. Okay, and we showed it right here. So just to see it again, that's called the Dai-mai vessel. And you can see it's part of the gallbladder meridian. So let's look at a point. You could actually use one point. We just went to it. We're going to go back there in a minute. There's one point related to the gallbladder meridian that's a little bit further down on the body. And it's another method besides what we've mentioned to open up the energy of that meridian, to really tonify it. And so you could open up that liver chi both through tonifying and helping that place around the abdomen. But there's another sort of key point that you can go to open up this meridian and allow that liver chi to flow better. And that's gallbladder 41. So you can see it's on the fourth metatarsal. So one over from your pinky toe to be really easy to talk about. So they call it the fourth metatarsal. You can see where that spot is sort of up on that between the second and the third bone there. And so you would just apply acupressure to that area, run it on your genius. It's going to open up that liver chi, help to balance the vessel and improve digestion. You can see another picture of it. It can actually help to release back pain. So very good. And so it has another name in addition to gallbladder 41. And we know it's along it's not along the Daimai vessel, but it affects the whole gallbladder meridian to help to balance the Daimai vessel. The Daimai vessel is just that part that goes sort of across the cross section of the abdomen. But it's also, the point itself has been called foot over tears, interestingly enough, and it can be utilized for eye issues as well. So if you have redness and swelling, tearing of the eyes, things like that, and it may help with overall vision because it's gallbladder, but it also helps to open up the liver meridian, helps to open up the liver chi. So that is your Chinese medicine minute for today, dealing with the Daimai vessel, the gallbladder meridian, and the secret point that you can open up this energy down at the foot. Now, today's topic is detoxification. So what is detoxification? Why do we do it? We know so much now about detox programs. It's been something that's been really popular for maybe the past 10 or 20 years. Why do we do detoxification? Why are we mentioning it in relationship to the genius? So remember that with your genius, you're an energetic director, and you send frequencies to places that are needed in order to open up or harmonize the energy. And so with every condition that you deal with, whether it be pain, headaches, skin issues, digestive issues, of course, cancer, fibromyalgia, whatever people come to you, even diabetes, whatever it is, there's a portion of almost every illness that can be made better by maximizing the function of our detoxification organs. And of course, by cleaning up the digestion. And digestion and detox are sort of related. Not everything in the digestive system is considered to be a detox organ, but they're very closely related, because the majority of your life, your body is very busy digesting your food and checking your food to see that anything that is not needed is eliminated from the body. And that which is not needed, which is not eliminated, becomes a burden to the body. And the burden and the excess over time can build up into a disease state. So the immediate cessation of digesting food causes an event in the body, which is amazing, which is a huge housekeeping event. So the moment that you stop eating, the body rushes in with enzymes and different metabolic activity to clean up any waste that may be there. So the detoxification process is a reset process, allows things to heal, allows you to maximize the energy of your body for healing and sort of a metabolic reset. So when we talk about digestion, we're mainly referring to what has been called in traditional naturopathic medicine the emunctories, or the organs of elimination. So we think about those as being the liver, the kidney, the large intestine, of course, and large intestine. Why is large intestine important as an organ of elimination? Obviously, we know the part that it eliminates, but did you know that whatever stuck in your large intestine reverberates right back to your liver through a vessel in the body called the hepatic portal vein? So if you're carrying any type of toxic waste or you're not eliminating from the large intestine, you instantly almost feel like you're sort of building up, you feel like this toxic buildup in your body because it instantly reverberates to your liver, stresses out the liver detox system. You're sort of, unfortunately, sort of swimming in this sort of toxic sludge. So we can't emphasize enough how important it is to clean up to have the bowels move. And of course, a lot of the detox programs have maybe varying types of purgatives. So of course, we don't want to use things like Cascara sagrada over a long period of time, but having something that actually causes your bowels to move a little bit more powerfully for some time can be very helpful. And that is why we would consume lots of fruits and vegetables and fiber during a cleanse that can be immensely helpful for helping to clean up the liver by virtue of cleaning up the large intestine. Now, of course, the skin is really important because it's a huge organ of elimination. You can sweat out many toxins and relieve the burden of the kidneys through sweating. So sweating and skin brushing, opening up the skin. You can have heavy metals be sweated through the skin. Very, very interesting. And one thing that's not mentioned here, two things that should also be here are the lymphatic system. So skin brushing, sweating, hydration, colonics, those can all help the lymphatic system, and the lungs. A really wonderful thing I read is that 60% of toxins are eliminated through our lungs. So deep yogic breathing and working on things that would maximize the health of the lungs would be very, very helpful for this purpose. So we have a detox process that we're going to share in just a moment. Seems like it's better to share it a little bit later in class. So we're going to share that in a moment, the detox process. And we're just going to talk about the basics now and then share the handout in a second, okay? So we're going to go through this. On the Genius, we would look at in today's stress, and the Genius, even the system overview is really nice when you're looking at detox. And detox would be one of the most important things that you could do for your body. You could schedule it 4 times a year, do it with the change of seasons. So spring, summer, we're about to move into summer, so great time. Fall and winter, you could do different types of cleansing. Now, things like in the hot part of the year, you could do things like watermelon cleansing. And that's one of the most fun cleanses you could ever do. You could basically what you do, you juice the watermelon, you could eat the watermelon, you could enjoy the rind of the watermelon, not the outside green part, but as much of the white that you can juice. There's a lot of minerals in the white part of the rind. So during the summertime, you could do something like watermelon fasting. You could get some green powders in with that. Again, watermelon is one of the most cleansing foods that you could consume. You want to consume it on an empty stomach. Don't combine it with other foods. And you don't want to be watermelon cleansing in the middle of winter. So when it's hot, you want to use cooling foods. When it's cold, you want to use warming foods. So if you want to detox in the fall or winter, you would use warm broths and perhaps a macrobiotic rice fast with some herbs in the soup or the broth. So on the Genius itself, you could use frequencies like the lymphatic, the liver, the adrenals, heavy metals, clearing heavy metals, kidneys. These are all in system overview because you want to open up those energies in conjunction with doing the detox. And you'll always have a better experience when you're working with your Genius frequencies, when you're doing something lifestyle related to enhance what you're doing with the energy. So they go hand in hand. Improve your lifestyle and do the Genius frequencies at the same time, you're going to get a better result. And then you can work on in the body systems, nervous system, digestive. Integumentary system is your skin. So that's a frequency meant for the skin. Circulatory, the urinary system, kidney, bladder, urinary. And there are very good herbs for this that you can find out more about. Burdock is a good one for kidney. Also dandelion leaf, whereas the root is for the liver, the leaf is for the kidney. You can use juniper, and there are plenty of other herbs. So if you want to work on kidney bladder health, do a kidney bladder cleanse. You can also use one that we wrote about in the newsletter last night, which is Shanka Piedra. So if you'd like to prevent kidney stones from forming. So kidney stones comes from the rich Western diet, a lot of protein, excess alcohol, and not drinking enough water. So make sure you stay well hydrated. And some people are just prone to them, so they may have a genetic component. But Shonka piedra used a few times a year in a concentrated way can help to break down those kidney stones, also helps to break down gallstones. We think that one of the reasons that we age and ultimately sort of break down or degenerate over the time is the buildup of calcifications within the body. And so if you think about Shonka piedra, it can be a really wonderful, perhaps anti-aging herb, in that it helps to break down the calcifications around the body. Shonka piedra is also known as stonebreaker, and it's an Amazonian herb. And we did a little blog post about it. So you could look on the blog or you look in the newsletter or email that we sent out last night. Now, anything is fair game in your digestion library. All of it, you could just run it on quick balance, or you could add all the items to the tray. Basically, everything in there can help you with a detox. Large intestine, gallbladder, small intestine, and stomach are not necessarily organs of elimination or detox organs, but we want to clean them up in order, as they're less toxic, there's less leaky gut, it helps us to clean up the body in a more efficient manner. And then, of course, a good microbiome helps to reduce the production of toxins. When we don't have a healthy gut flora, then we can get a lot of candida and yeast. And the flora helps to neutralize toxins as well. So your microbiome has a great role in the body and does a lot more than meets the eye. And of course, enzymes. So enzymes are always being used to digest your food. But if there's no food to digest, then these enzymes can be utilized for cleanup. And you can think about them as sort of breaking down any metabolic waste. When people say they have a cyst or they have a benign tumor, you can think about that as some type of metabolic waste that the body is trying to wall away somewhere. And by using large amounts of enzymes, it's possible, especially proteolytic ones, maybe help to break down those different masses or cysts or things like that. So think about why they build up in the first place and what you could do to eliminate them. In other words, a long water fast would help to reset and clean up and repair so many things in the body. Now, water fasting is extreme and hard for most people to do, but think about some type of compromise, perhaps the master cleanse, where for a few days you only consume water, lemon juice, maple syrup, and cayenne. So that might be a compromise. Or maybe you do a juice cleanse where you have juices throughout the day. And again, you're allowing the body, for the most part, not to have to break a lot down, just get pure nutrients to nourish. Now, of course, any of the meridians are great, but particularly spleen, lung, kidney, liver. You could also include stomach. These would be key ones. Actually, the lung meridian would also be great for detox. Herbs within the herb panel. And there's a handout on this. I'm going to share this with you in just a moment. Milk thistle. So milk thistle is something that you could take every single day. Milk thistle is good for anything that you've been exposed to in the last 24 hours. It can help you to neutralize it and detoxify it. Milk thistle is rich in antioxidants, and it helps you to build up a store of glutathione. Gymnema is not really a detox herb, but I had it on the original list. You can use it. It's good for balancing blood sugar, which could be good during a cleanse. Chaparral, another detox herb. Burdock, good for cleansing the liver. It's really good for improving bile flow. And Cascara sagrada, again, this is something that you might want to take on a temporary basis, and it's sort of a purgative. It helps the liver to move better, and it helps you to have better elimination during your cleanse. You also want to make sure your bowels move when you are cleansing, because you're starting to release a lot of toxins from the cells. And especially if you do sort of a caloric deficiency fast where you're losing weight, that means your fat is mobilizing into fatty acids. And everyone has hundreds of different types of toxins stored within their fat tissue. So when you mobilize, you want to make sure you're drinking a lot, taking detox herbs to transmute those different toxins and poisons, which may have gotten stored in the fat tissue, because that's where the body puts heavy metals and other solvents and toxins in order to keep the body safe. So once you begin to mobilize the fat tissue, all the toxins come back into the bloodstream. But if you're taking detox herbs, milk thistle, dandelion helps you to better process them. And then a good drinking lots of water helps the kidneys to eliminate them, and drinking lots of, or taking lots of fiber in the form of food or a fiber supplement helps your large intestine to eliminate them as well. Now, we do have some libraries that help with that, and we'll look at that more during our class today. We have a great Detox 10-week program. A lot of you maybe have that, and it goes through all the different herbs that are great, herbs and remedies that are great for the different organs of elimination, like lung, liver, lymph, your microbiome, kidney, and so forth. So that's sort of a comprehensive where we've put everything into those libraries that would go nicely during the time that you're doing a detox program. And then we also have liver assessment, liver solutions, and we have a new library that we shared with our business members, and now it's available to everyone, called the Liver Tune-Up. And it's an all-encompassing liver detox, liver tune-up with lots of frequencies for herbs, remedies, for the different chemical processes of the liver, like detoxification, the P450 enzyme system, glycogen, vitamin storage, things like that. And we also have our kidney series. So kidney is a really important part of detox as well. Now, when you're thinking about doing a detox, again, you're thinking about resting your digestive system and what things you need to think about. You want to clean up your diet, get caffeine, alcohol, obvious, ones out of your diet if you can. Eliminate sugar, being refined sugar, not sugar from fruits. That's still okay. Dairy, wheat, eggs, meat, chicken, fish, these take a lot of energy for the body to break down. So we want to eliminate that burden on the body, at least temporarily, while we're doing a detox. Have lots of fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, all the things We do have a 21-day detox program on the website. It's very reasonable. It's like $47, and you get day-by-day instructions every day of the 21-day detox. And it gives you some lectures and classes about how to do a detox. So if you just put in 21-day detox on the Genius website, it even comes with a library that you can use during the 21-day program. So if you're feeling like you need a break, you want some day-to-day guidance, you can check out that program. Drink lots of spring water. That's really the best water to drink. And while you're doing a detox, also alkalize your body. It's a great time to change the pH of your body by taking in green powders like alfalfa or barley. Barley is a very palatable type of green to consume. So if you just get some barley grass powder and take a little bit of water, put it in there, put it in the blender, blend it up, put a couple of ice cubes in there, maybe a little bit of stevia, and tastes great, really easy to consume. And you can really get those greens. If you get some rolls of pH paper, you can see what a big difference that drinking different grass powders can help to change your pH. And your body will function so much better and will be easier to eliminate toxins. And even when you're in a detox state, it can throw off more acid. So even more why you'd want to make sure you alkalize during your detox. And of course, green juices are phenomenal. So whether it be parsley is a great detoxer, of course, kale and all the other usuals that we think about. And of course, celery, that's something that people use a lot more. And you don't have to just have green juices. Of course, carrot and beet are great liver detoxifiers as well. Now you could do juice fasting. So you could drink juices throughout the day. Now, if that makes you nervous, then just have juicing for breakfast and lunch, and then have salad and soup for dinner. So just the idea of fasting, just for those of us who are very conditioned to eat every day, seems really hard, right, to do that. So just do juicing for part of the day, and then enjoy the biggest salad you can make, and then some nice soup, healthy broth for dinner. And that could help you maybe do that for 3 or 5 days. The key is to rest your digestive system as much as possible. That really helps the metabolic functions of detox to kick in. Now, I think we're almost, just a couple more slides here. You may want to consider the power of herbs called cholagogues. So cholagogues help you to move the bile more efficiently, to produce more bile. And bile helps you to break down fats more efficiently. We just talked in the business membership about the power of liver tune-up. And it turns out one of the things we talked about, when your liver does not produce enough bile, then you don't digest your fats efficiently, and it puts a huge burden on the pancreas. And this could set up people for blood sugar issues and diabetes in a way that most people don't think of. So we don't usually think of the health of the liver as being super important for keeping the health of the whole body. So cool herbs that help you to help your liver to produce bile in a more efficient way would be things like dandelion root, all the roots, right? Burdock root and Oregon grape root. It's wonderful to contemplate the power of roots for anybody who tries to keep their lawn looking totally pretty. They're very confounding and frustrating because roots put they go deep, 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 right? Those dandelion root and burdock root, they get deep, deep, deep into the ground. They get strength, right? And they pull up a lot of minerals. But the herbs, the constituents of the herbs for these roots are very good at helping the bile to flow more efficiently. They have some bitter components in there that contribute to that. And then, of course, the old castor oil pack is amazing. That cotton flannel soaked in the amazing, what they call the Palma Christi, the oil of Christ, amazing medicinal oil in a way that you don't consume necessarily, you just apply it to the body. And when you put this pack with a hot water bottle over the castor oil pack and apply it to your abdomen, especially in the liver area, it works miracles. It can help the bowels to flow better, helps your lymphatic system. And if you do it before sleep, you'll feel like you fall asleep like a baby. It's a very powerful and wonderful and easy passive way to detoxify your liver. For gallbladder cleansing, you may want to consider, because our gallbladder can build up those gallbladder stones, you may want to consider Shankapiedra Stonebreaker. Read the book by Andreas Moritz for gallbladder flushing. Use Epsom salts and sodium diphosphate can help to break down the gallbladder stones. So you can use them to break down the stones. And grapefruit helps with that. And instead of a very large amount of olive oil used during a flush, try smaller amounts. People usually feel better if they sort of cut back on the amount. The key is to sort of break down those stones in advance with things like Epsom salt, disodium phosphate. Be careful if you have a high blood pressure, all of those warnings. And that what you really want to do is break down any gallstone or gallstone silt over time. So doing a little bit of mini flushes over time, or using Shankapiedra is better. What builds up gallstones is mostly things in the rich Western diet, unfortunately. So things like your eggs, dairy, meat, chicken, fish, they actually contribute to the gallbladder stones. You'll find people on an exclusively plant-based diet have far fewer issues with their gallbladder and gallbladder stones. Now let's do some balancing. So we spent a bit of time going over that, but we did talk a lot about things that you could use on the Genius. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to post that information about the detox process. And we're also going to call for our volunteers. So if you'd like to volunteer and you're really feeling like you'd like to have this detox process today, go ahead and volunteer by putting your date of birth into the chat. And let's go ahead and put this information into the chat right here. So this is our detox process. So that's one thing from the Genius that you could use. We also have a number of different detox libraries. So it's one of the things we've focused on a lot with the custom libraries. Okay, you're not going to see that just yet. Let's go ahead and, all right, let's go ahead and do this correctly here. All right, so let's go ahead and paste this correctly. I sent it to the hosts and the panelists. So here it is, there we go. Okay, that is the process. And then we do have a list of all the libraries. Now, with the libraries, we are going to have a 72-hour, very wonderful special on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The whole site, you're going to be able to apply a 25% discount coupon. And those of you in the library discount club are going to get an even higher code for up to a wonderful discount. So if you're in library discount, you're going to get an even greater deal. So look for that. And we're going to be starting that on Wednesday. So as soon as the clock turns to Wednesday morning, you can apply that 25% discount for Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you may want to look over these libraries and then get ready to get them on Wednesday when that special starts. Okay. So let's go ahead. We had a Q&A here. What's a good microbiome to take? That's something that it'd be good to do some blogs on and really talk about the different probiotics. For now, you could look at Claire Labs. So Klair, and they have a pretty good one. I think it's called Therabiotic. something like that. That would be one. Now, this isn't medical advice. You have to look into this for yourself and take your own responsibility in using probiotics. Also, any of the probiotics that are sold by Premier Research Labs, believe they have a pretty convenient gel cap probiotic, and it might just be called probiotic. So that's another one. Can you repost the process? We just literally just posted it, so I'm not sure why it's not there. So it's right there. It says detoxification genius process, and we just posted it to everyone. So try to look back in the chat. I know you were there for the chat. Try to look back just a little bit. So we do need a volunteer. Somebody wants to volunteer today. So let's see who. Now, if you're going to volunteer, what we want to do is we want to have you on camera and microphone. So if you're volunteering, make sure that your camera and microphone is ready. So if you want to volunteer, make sure we have that date of birth. And let's go ahead and talk with, let's see who we've got here. So Connie, I know that was really important to you. So Connie, let's go ahead and we'll work with you. So Connie, please make sure that you have your camera and your microphone ready to go. Okay. And then we'll work with you. And so while you're watching this, what you could do is you could just follow along. Now, Connie, let's make sure that you are you calling in on a phone or are you here with us? Just let me know that you're able to do that, or we'll just go ahead and we'll go to the next volunteer. And so Connie, you can come on up here and talk with us while we're getting ready. And we're going to, hi Connie, how are you?
Good.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, I've just recently been diagnosed with Sjogren's disease, as well as right now I'm having.
Sorry, what is it called? What is it called?
Sjogren's.
Okay, I've actually, being a doctor for all this time, I don't know what that is. What's the nature of this condition?
It's like through rheumatoid arthritis you get diagnosed. It's SJ.
Oh, it's Sjogren's. Sjogren's.
There we are.
Okay, and so tell us about what, it's always interesting when they make a diagnosis. Karen McDonald recently told us on the podcast the meaning of diagnosis. Karen, if you're here, go ahead and put that into the into that chat again. We'd love to share that information. That being said, what are the symptoms? What are the things you're experiencing every day that are troublesome?
Probably my back is really bad. I've had my fingers go lose all circulation in just different spots of my finger. Like it'll be just like the tip of my finger or the middle of one finger. And it goes like absolutely white and it feels like it's ice cold. And it takes a while for it to change, but this is happening like about 5 to 6 times a day, where it can happen wherever. And like I said, the rest of my hand is pink, and then all of a sudden it's just one spot or 2 fingers that are white.
Okay. All right. Now, if you had to, what do you think is your biggest obstacle to healing for this to get better?
My eyes and my dry mouth. Like those 2 are the worst because I've got really bad case of SPK from the dry eye. And it's basically got like a film over my eyes, like scabs.
Okay. So let's go ahead and let's record your voice. So let's go ahead and we're going to record your voice. And you know how to do that by saying your name and the AEIOU. So let's go ahead and record your voice in 3, 2, 1. I'm recording.
Connie Roeder, AEIOU, 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 AEIOU.
Fabulous. Okay. And have you tried, has there been anything that you've tried that has been helpful for you to get relief?
Not really. I've been having my back pain as well. It goes right up to my neck, and migraines that are going with this as well right now.
Okay, I understand. And
I'm
you say it was
almost,
recently diagnosed. Did you have these symptoms for some amount of time? Let's just go ahead and stop you just so you can smile. And if you can, yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah. So how long is this something that you've been dealing with?
well, the dry eyes and the dry mouth was 17 years ago. And the other thing that's really bad is nobody could figure out why my potassium kept dropping. It's in our family, but nobody's ever diagnosed it before. And mine's been critical. Over a year ago, I was in ICU twice for severely low, critically low. It was like 1.1, my potassium, and they couldn't get it to move. So I was in ICU for a week the first time, and the second time, almost 2 weeks. The third time they said, I come, it'll be to the morgue, not to the hospital. So they said, we better find the answers.
Oh, that's incredible. Something we're talking about in our manifestational class is the power of language. And really that sort of language should be prohibited from any type of health person or healer should not be allowed to speak such words because the power of words is quite strong. I'm really sorry to hear that somebody said that.
Well, they said to me too, it's all in my head. There's nothing wrong with me.
Well, so they gave you sort of mixed messages there. Have you ever done any detox?
No.
Okay. So Connie, I'm going to work on you. We'll come back and we'll talk with you in just a little bit. And what would be for you, what would be the most positive outcome of doing a detox or working on yourself? What would you like to experience?
I just want to break through it and stop the pain that's continuing lately because
Okay. That's a
it's
good one. Okay.
and
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. I love it. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll come back and talk with you in just a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. And it's always courageous for anyone to come on and talk about what's going on with them. So really praise you and celebrate you for your courage and sharing this with you and being part of our learning process today. So right away, first thing we're going to do is scan the aura. One of the really wonderful things about the Genius is that you can work with anyone, anywhere, long distance. And so this is really fantastic because this is how we want to interact. We're not really, the truth of the universe is that we're not really separated by space and time. This is just an illusion. And it's almost like our technology is helping us to cut through that illusion. We can reach and send healing energy to anyone all over the world. Now, this is a very interesting aura. It actually looks pretty good. Looks very nice heart energy coming through here, pretty strong vibration. And we do see a little bit of that yellow. It does remind me of the digestive distress. So I really want you to think, Connie, about taking steps now to learn about just plant-based diet as much as possible for as long as you can, eliminating any type of processed food and sugar. Maybe you already do that. So if this is old hat, then of course, disregard it. And then also taking steps to do sort of a focused detox, as we've talked about today, for any condition, including Sjogren's, rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease. And when we have an autoimmune disease, we are attacking our own body. And in fact, Binay, tomorrow morning, will be talking about an introduction to our autoimmune course where we talk about this in detail. So if you want to catch her class, go to the events page and sign up for the Tuesday morning class. It doesn't have the right topic quite yet, but it is going to be on autoimmunity tomorrow. And you can learn more about what I'm about to say. When the body is stressed for some reason, it could be a subclinical virus, but it could also even be digestive stress. It can cause so much stress on the body that it causes a misfiring of the immune system. And we do have studies that show plant-based diet and cleaning up the gut can help with rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, and other types of autoimmune issues. So the root of Sjogren's and rheumatoid arthritis is autoimmune. So looking at this, we'd want to clean up the digestive system for sure. Now let's go through the different paces. So if you have the handout, which hopefully by now that you do, we've given out a couple of times. Somebody, if they want to repost the one that we've posted a couple of times, please do. Just go ahead and repost that. Of course, it will be in the blog post and we'll also post it in the YouTube. Why is this giving me a hard time? All right. No, I don't want to overwhelm the computer system here. For some reason, my system is not downloading, so we can't look at it at the moment. Let me see if I can. That's being really weird and I don't want to disrupt. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So let's see if we can Just download it real quickly and we'll look at that process. But it's the same thing that we do all the time. Let's go through today's stress. And it starts with today's stress. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at today's stress and see if it has any of the detox elements in it. And then we're also going to include, now, one thing that comes up for her right away that's really interesting is the virus. And so that doesn't mean the thing that everybody was talking about, but it could mean things like Epstein-Barr or other subclinical viruses. When you have a virus that your body is not able to be aware of, and viruses hide from the body through underneath something called a biofilm. And so viruses that can be living in the body and evading the body's natural immune system for a long time, and they can be doing damage through sort of a low level stress on the immune system. So you're not able to mobilize things that could get rid of the virus, but it's actually causing low level inflammation over time. And there's been some pretty good studies that have associated long-standing viruses with autoimmunity, because when the immune system is sort of challenged for a long period of time and sort of stressed by a chronic virus, then that can lead to something called molecular mimicry and other disruptions that trigger the development of an autoimmune condition. We also see fungus. So that's going to tell me that we're not digesting our food completely, and it's sort of like the cleanup mechanism in the gut. When there's metabolic waste is usually fungus or candida. We can see the immune system, interestingly enough, sort of could be the overactive immune system as well. We're going to use our bulk drag and drop function to include those into the main hold tray, and as well as the blue ones, lymphatic, emotional, and brain. Very interesting. Usually with autoimmune, there may have been something in the person's childhood between 1 and 7, something significant, a trauma they're trying to work out or clear. So that may be part of the whole psychopathology things that are going on. Doesn't mean it's all in your head whatsoever. It's also physical, but you can work on different techniques to help to clear some of that out. So lymphatic system or water, colonic, skin brushing, rebounding, stretching, yoga are good for things like that. Then the digestive system, where are we in the next one, sorry, is body systems. And what we're looking for here are things like the nervous system, the skin, and circulatory. So we can grab those anyway as part of a detox. You can do both. And then you could also do skeletal lymphatic. So we see lymphatic come up once again. Alfredo says, I need subtitles in Spanish. Alfredo, please contact us today. support@geniusbiofeedback.com. Just go to geniusbiofeedback.com and send us a message. We have a Spanish class just for you. We have a class twice a month by our very talented Adina and Susanna, and they teach in Spanish for our Spanish language community. So please get in touch so we can add you to that free class. Okay. And then we go to organs. So we look at organs. These are the organs of elimination, right? So the things that we've talked about here, we've got kidney, liver, and lungs. So they definitely come up for her. We're going to include them, and we're going to include liver anyway. And then we see spleen. That could be immune system. We already did. And then stomach. So cleaning up the gut could be very, very helpful. And then the brain as well. All right. So then we've got meridians. And we've got meridians here. So we've got large intestine, gallbladder, small intestine. So we can include them. So small intestine, stomach, lung. The lungs eliminate so many toxins through deep breathing. The kidney meridian, we can include all of them, but make sure you also include your reds and your blues. So you're gaining information about what is red and blue. We can also incorporate into there the detox. And of course, you could take this detoxification process and make it into a custom playlist. So that's another thing that you could do. Then flower essences. So crab apple is a great flower essence for the purpose of cleansing. So you could always add it in, and then you'd want to add in the other ones that come up, because there's always some emotional component to every illness, especially chronic illness. There's a long-standing thought process, a long-standing emotional wound. Something is going in the area of, yes, the sort of the mind and the emotion is very significant. And you want to look at that as a healer, as a biofeedback practitioner. What is it for that particular person that can help them to move the energy. Sometimes just becoming aware, your new awareness helps you to clear it. So once you're aware of it, you're like, oh, that's something for me to look at and to acknowledge. And then even that can clear out the energy. Let's look at herbs. There are some great detox herbs in the herb panel. Let's go ahead and grab our reds and grab our blues. We want to cover those, and let's see if there's anything else. So burdock is already added. And then we have dandelion, gymnema, cascara, and milk thistle. So we have, I'm not going to be able to find them quickly, but just looking through here, you would grab them and put them into the main whole tray. So it's a combination of both for the purpose of doing this exercise. Okay, so that's the detox process. Now let's look at the detox libraries themselves, and we could get into a deeper dive into detox. I like this 10-week program because it covers all the systems. So it was meant to be done one system per week, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6, but it's meant to be done over a 10-week period. So a couple of them would get repeated, whichever ones are really needed. So you would do 1 week, you would do digestive. The next week you would do kidney. The next week you would do liver. The next week you would do lung. The next week you do microbiome. Then you can, and then the parasites as well. And then you would go back and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. And then you would do the other 4 that would be the most predominant or things that would come up that would need to be cleared in the other 4 weeks. So it was like 1 clearing a week, and then it was done over a 10-week program. This is another thing that would be great to do as a group. So if you can get a group of people together and learn about wellness through detox and give them some of the information and then have everybody do the detox together. That's another great thing you can do as a Genius practitioner. So it tells us leaky gut. So we can learn a lot through this as well. There's not a lot that comes up here. Let's go to the next one. We're just going to be a couple minutes over today. Clear kidney deposits. Wild yam, a kidney rife frequency. Corn silk is great for the kidney as well. And you see cranberry and birch bark and yarrow. These are great kidney cleansers. And then we go to the third one, liver and gallbladder. Taurine, turmeric, L-glutamine. L-glutamine helps to feed the enterocytes of the gut, and it helps to clear leaky gut. Then we've got chelidonium, which is a really powerful Chinese liver herb, chelidonium. No, it's not a Chinese herb. It's a Western herb that was used by a lot of traditional naturopathic doctors. That is a really good liver cleanser, chelidonium. Chlorella, artichoke extract is good for the same reason that milk thistle is good. It's very good for building up glutathione, trimethylglycine. So let's go ahead and grab those as well. And then we've got the lung and lymph. So we've got ligusticum, calendula, red root, astragalus. Wow, that's interesting. Connie, we're going to ask you when we bring you back, have you had any lung issues in the past? Because that's going to, lung is paired with large intestine. So if there's any respiratory history of respiratory issues, that could be part of the root cause. And lung is very related to large intestine. Are you on audio there?
Yeah, I am now.
Yeah, go ahead and tell us if there's any past lung issue.
Yes, I do. I have asthma.
Interesting. Okay. And how long has that asthma been, how long have you had to deal with asthma for?
Well, it used to be fine when I was a kid, like it was mild, but I have probably daily, I use my inhalers.
Okay. That's very interesting. Okay. So that is fascinating. That may be part of the whole equation. So what you can do in your Genius practice is focus more on respiratory and lung for yourself. And even just go watch some YouTubes about different types of yogic breathing that can help you sort of improve just the power of your lungs, the health of your lungs, because lung is paired with large intestine. That is part of elimination. And that's really just going to affect your whole body's ability to detoxify in general. Does that make sense?
Yes, as well. I had a hysterectomy at 30, and they severed the nerves to my bowel as well as the muscles.
Okay.
So since 30, I've been on laxatives because I can't go to the bathroom without something stimulating my bowel because it's completely not can't use it.
Okay, well, that's certainly significant as well. And it's going to affect a liver. So I do think that for you to think about getting real good at detox, reading all about detox, just read every book that you can about detoxing, cleansing. It's going to help you a lot, because I do think that part of this, not everything, but part of it is that, the different organs of elimination have been challenged, and that sort of contributes to an overall systemic stress. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And read up about a castor oil pack. I think that could be one of your best friends, is learning how to do a castor oil pack and really embracing how powerful castor oil is for the body. And it's so simple to do. So would you be willing to look into that?
Sure.
All right. Let me just finish up here with a few more minutes, and we're going to come back and visit with you about the results. Okay.
All righty.
Perfect. Okay. I'm glad she volunteered today, because we have a lot of information to send her way about this. And Connie, go ahead and check and see if you activated your Quanta capsule. You don't have to let me know right now, but we want to see if right after class, maybe we can get you some of these frequencies. So the bladder meridian comes up as very, very high. And we're just going to be maybe a couple of minutes over, just a couple of minutes over today. And then we'll basically, put everything together. So let me just go ahead and I'm just going to mute you here for a minute, Connie. And so the bladder meridian, eggs from parasites. So parasite cleanse, calendula, that's for skin. Turkey rhubarb would help the bowels to move. Got a few more parasites. Eliminating negative patterns associated. This is a radionic frequency detox that we have. So if you look under detox and you see detox radionics, this is an interesting one. Eliminating negative patterns associated with toxins. Sort of fascinating. The nervous system, alpha lipoic acid, antioxidant. Now we want to look at rock rose. So that's her top. Now notice that the flower essence had to emerge above 100 other frequencies. So you always want to look at the frequency, the flower essence that comes up at the top. That's going to be very significant to the physical aspect that that person is experiencing. So rock rose is releasing fear and panic. So if there's an element that might be rolled into the whole experience, it reactivates courage to persevere and trust in the perfection of the universe. So do you have faith that your body can somehow heal itself? Do you have faith that somehow you can get restored to your good balance in your body, that your body can completely heal from this autoimmune and all the other challenges? So rock rose can help you to move into that place of courage and faith that can happen. So let's see what's happened after just 1 minute of bouncing. We went to 30% rectification. 40% is the goal. Let's do 1 more minute. So let's do a rescan. The rescan is always significant in what emerges after 1 minute. What emerges now at the top? That detox. Wow. So her energy field like this. Detox 4, eliminate negative patterns associated with toxins. Now it rose to the highest level of priority. Visualize subtle fields of the gastrointestinal system healing is sort of implied there. That's interesting. It tells us everything that comes up in progressive insights. I want you now, if you have never been, to be completely fascinated and taken with the highest order of things that come up in progressive insights, because they give you what real true healers are always looking for, which is hints about the root cause. What is of the greatest priority to the person's energetic system? Working on the kidneys. So the kidneys, my naturopathic mentor would say there are 2 places to start with any case: the liver or the kidneys. You either work kidney, 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 or you work liver, liver, liver when you're starting, especially with a chronic case. Strengthen the liver to be more resilient in the face of viruses, sort of strengthening our understanding that maybe some of this is due to a subclinical virus, meaning the immune system may have been very ineffective for a long amount of time. Okay, so castor oil, external application to the liver. Boy, when a doctor recommends it, the person says, yeah, kind of sounds okay, doc. I guess I'll listen to you. But then it actually comes up fortified by this frequency, then people say, oh, maybe I should listen to what she said. Sounds like it might be important. The endocrine system, it looks like some parasites may be part of the issue. Mullein is for the lungs, the virus, lemon balm, efficient storage of blood, that has to do with the liver qi. So fascinating. This is what I mean by we need the genius and quantum biofeedback technologies in order to peer below the surface, things that even as a naturopath, I can't pick up on, although I have suspicions, and this can confirm based on a history and what I know. Everybody really needs this to help them, to give them hints. We don't say it's a diagnosis. We don't say it's 100%, but it so strongly matches what people are experiencing, what they're reporting, and in my experience, what I would suspect to see as a doctor. All right, somebody asked for the handout. Don't worry, we will absolutely be sharing this on the YouTube description. We'll also be sharing it on the blog and in the Facebook group, so we'll post it just about everywhere. But here's that detox process again, so you can grab onto it and you can download it now, Donna, and anybody else who's looking for it. We just put it back into the chat, so it's there. Now, just for fun, let's see one more time, we do a rescan, what emerges to the top. And because you really want to take the time to do this when you're doing your sessions. And it's actually the parasites, chlorella, greens, alkalizing, lung meridian, which we just talked about, strengthen the liver to be more resilient. Now, Star of Bethlehem is all about PTSD, releasing PTSD. So interesting. Now, what I do in my practice is I'll write down, first I'll write down rock rose, then I'll write down Star of Bethlehem, then I'll write down a third one. And then those three, I might send them as a separate quantum capsule export and have them run the 3 flower essences on their own. 3 is always a very powerful number. So the 3 top flower essences, they all go together. So it's the rock rose that is related to the Star of Bethlehem that would be related to a third flower essence. And that, when you put them together, then it's really complete. And there's something about that trinity together that sort of tells a more complete story about what that person is trying to work through emotionally. So I'm not going to take the time to do this for right now, but I'm going to go ahead and go to the aura. I want to see on the ending aura what comes up. And I know we're running a little bit over time. Let's quickly see what's coming up in the ending aura here. Would this be helpful for a negative, the V word? Darren, any detox is going to be helpful for that purpose. So it could be very, very helpful for what you're trying to achieve there. I would highly recommend it to do the detox process in addition to any other frequencies that you're running. And that's a very good question. So what a beautiful ending aura. Let's quickly kind of get in touch with me by email so I can send you these frequencies. And we see this is the before and this is the after, clearing out maybe some of that digestive, bringing in healing energy. And we would spend a little bit more time here to see that cloudiness around the edges start to clear up. You could see think about that as deficiency or pain. And so we would want to see that begin to clear up and move into a more solid purple color. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being part of our class today. The Genius class is always free. You can invite anyone. They might be only mildly interested in biofeedback, but hey, come and hang out in this class. And this doc gives all types of, tips about health and Chinese medicine. So you can invite anyone to our class. Everyone is always welcome. We also stream live through YouTube. Definitely check out the events page at geniusbiofeedback.com. Be sure to check out our events page where we have all the weekly events posted. We'll also be coming out with an email later today telling you about the events and the fact that on Wednesday, we're going to be having a site-wide 25% off all libraries for just 72 hours. So if you've had your eye on some libraries, you will be able to get those and then get a combined discount for Library Discount Club. So you may want to check out Library Discount Club. If you're not already a member, members will get a special code to use for an even greater discount for those 3 days. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks again. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye for now.